Good. So pleasant good evening, guys. Let me, of course, apologize for our start. We just ended up having to deal with some one or two issues, and of course, a little bit of technical difficulty with all the rain. For some reason, the internet is not working the way it's supposed to be working. But in any case, we are here, and as usual, we normally do this live for 1 hour, so it's 8:45. So we'll go from 8:45 till 9:45. I do apologize again for the late start. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Today, of course, we're discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. Busy week last week. We were actually in Tobago. Had a really good week in Tobago. A lot of persons coming there, getting their live blood analysis, their magnetic resonance analysis scan. We also had some reviews that we needed to do. So keep in mind that Tobago clinic up and running. Of course, as time goes by, we get more improved. We have our foot detox beginning just now. I know a lot of you guys waiting for Santulan. And of course, as I said, we have Santulan here. It's just a matter of awaiting our clearance. And Santulan should be in our hands very, very, very quickly, very shortly. Okay, I do apologize again for the wait, but no fault of ours, and we try our best to ensure that we give you your products as you like. Batson Associates has a really excellent track record as regards to a lot of the products that we bring. This evening, of course, we're going to be discussing that balanced circulation uh, product, which helps with circulation. A lot of persons with serious problems associated with poor circulation, where they have things like pins and needles, cramping in your calves, bleeding on their feet. We do now run integrative diabetes clinic, you know, uh, and that's one of the things that we always try to help persons to understand with this clinic. A lot of persons ask, well, what really is an integrative diabetes clinic? When I was actually doing the interview on Channel 5 in Tobago, that was actually one of the things that we were discussing, trying to help persons to understand you may be diagnosed with diabetes from a Western perspective, with allopathic medicine. And what the doctor would usually recommend, of course, if you're type 1 diabetic, you would be, of course, recommended insulin. If you're type 2 diabetes or diabetes mellitus, you'll be recommended metformin, glucophage, and or diamicron, sorry. They switch it up according to how high your blood sugar is. So, with that being said, we know that there are a number of complications associated with diabetes. Those complications, of course, having to do with poor macro circulation. So that's circulation as it relates to the heart, circulation as it relates to the major or larger blood vessels, so arteries, veins, and the list goes on and on. And then, of course, microcirculation, which is circulation in the kidneys. It's very easy for someone who is diabetic to end up with renal failure because of how microcirculation is compromised in a diabetic. So the difference uh, at an integrated level or at an integrated diabetes clinic is that you get both aspect where you have the allopathic aspect. So you will be recommended medication. A lot of persons come to us on medication, but of course, when we make the necessary adjustments as to the information that we derive from, in terms of your root cause, looking at your gastrointestinal system, looking at your endocrine system, a lot of women who have problems with PMS, postmenopausal syndrome, as a result of that, they're having diabetic complications or pre-diabetes. So the difference at Batson and Associates or in the integrative diabetes clinic is really to give you more assistance so that you do not succumb to the complications associated with diabetes, especially as it relates to eyesight. So, at our integrative clinic, you would be recommended a proper eye regime as it relates to improve eyesight, to maintain proper eyesight as a diabetic. I mean, a lot of persons ask the question whether diabetes could be reversed, and I always tell them yes. I personally believe that any disease can be reversed. However, it comes down to the work, it comes down to the diet ethics, it comes down to what you're putting in the body. At the integrative diabetes clinic, and we do have a number of integrative clinic. We have integrative prostate, we have an integrative PMS clinic, which stands for postmenopausal syndrome. And it's integrative in the sense where a lot of dietary factors are taken into consideration. Batson Associates has trained dietitians as it relates to clinical dietitians, medical dietitians, and integrative as it relates to automolecular medicine and even nutritional medicine. So we are actually able to help our clients from a broader spectrum as it relates to proper nutrition, as it relates to filling the gaps with high levels of inflammatory response. All diabetics have high inflammation in the body. So anyone who has the ability to reduce inflammation, especially from a natural perspective, is going to be advantage. It's going to be advantageous to someone who is a diabetic. So of course, keep that in mind, and you could of course give us a call or visit those telephone numbers and locations. Keep in mind we have our open clinic day. Our open clinic day for Chaguanas is Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. I will actually be at those clinics, as well as our open clinic day for St. James. St. James is on Friday. Right, Friday of this week. We're supposed to be there Saturday as well, but I believe in my case, I would not necessarily be there on Saturday, but definitely Friday. And of course, we have the other consultants who are able to work, who are able to do your blood analysis, make your recommendations. And of course, those recommendations can now be further just evaluated. I mean, the consultants and the protocols that we have in place are very effective. We have a number of persons, let me say a pleasant good evening to our consultants, Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, Mr. Rene Bastamante, Mr. Vialva, really well trained in our field of integrative medicine. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. And we continue to assist our clients. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook, and we are Batson and Associates TT on Instagram, and of course on YouTube we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, with our question and answer live. We're discussing diabetes, we're discussing poor circulation. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Pamela Moses, no name Noel. He says, hello doctor, hope you are all good weather. Hope you are all, or hope you all have good weather today. Yeah, we actually do. Vidya Abdul, good evening to you. Miss Alison Bridgelal, Miss Sharon Theodore, Betty Phillip, Joan Eastman, Alicia Hall, good evening to you. Stephen Atwell, he says, good night, Dr. Batson. What do you have for liver stenosis, fatty liver? Miss Brenda Turpin, a pleasant good evening to you. Great question. Interestingly, as I said, I worked Tobago this week. Friday, I actually had a client who came to us who actually has the same condition, liver stenosis or fatty liver. I'm glad you asked this question, because a lot of the times, a lot of people don't understand. Excuse me. A lot of persons don't understand how serious liver stenosis is, or fatty liver. In the sense, it's almost just as bad as cirrhosis of the liver, which you find a lot of persons. Because you remember, your liver is an organ that plays a significant role in a number of different bodily functions. Your metabolic system, your liver converts protein to amino acids to protein. Your liver plays a significant role in your central nervous system, your ability to sleep and sleep well, the effective replenishment of amino acids to now produce neurotransmitters. So things like epinephrine, neoepinephrine, serotonin. So in instances like that, when you do not have proper liver function, it is quite easy for the body to go into a number of issues. As regards to what we have, Mr. Atwell, what I would recommend is some sort of liver ultrasound, or some sort of which gives us an indication of the extent of the fatty liver, and then of course subsequent to the treatment protocol, we could now treat you properly. Of course, the live blood analysis and magnetic resonance analysis, scan, would definitely be recommended, because it gives us the ability again to look at the inflammatory response in the body. Inflammation is a serious thing, it is a dangerous thing, and it of course gives us the opportunity again to really assist persons in that regard. So feel free to give us a call or visit. Keep in mind, our open clinic days for Chaguanas is Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Of course, every day is an open clinic day, but I will be present at those offices, of course, my apologies, Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. St. James, of course, is on Friday. Okay, that telephone number for the Shagona's office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. I was actually in Debe on Saturday gone. That was the Saturday before, which was the 29th. Had a really good day down there, and a number of persons came back for their revisits. A lot of persons came back for their review. So again, really helping individuals. We had a lot of persons as it relates to that question on. We actually have liver tea as well too, Mr. Atwell. A lot of our teas in stock. We have circulation, we have hypertension tea, we also have joint tea as well. Really great line of teas that help in dealing with so many different issues. So again, you can feel free to give us a call or visit. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Nicola Hurd. A pleasant welcome to you, Mr. Atwell. Miss Anne Leger says, good evening, Dr. Batson. I am so pleased I did go to Debe on Thursday and did my full blood work. God bless you all. You're very welcome, my dear. You're very welcome. So you all heard it for yourself, another satisfied customer. Keep in mind, we do, and me especially because of the workload that I have, we have trained consultants there who are really well trained and thorough. We have Miss Karishma Ramdan, who has been working with Batson Associates in excess of 10 years, as well as Mr. Green. Mr. Bialva as well has been with us for a number of years. Very well trained and well rounded. He's a trained in a physical fitness trainer, also trained in dietetics. He also trained in laboratory microscope blood work in terms of being able to understand laboratory reports and that kind of thing. So we have a really great team, and that team is growing. But most importantly, the team is there to give you the assistance that you want. So I know a lot of you, you want to see Dr. Batson, you want to see Dr. Batson, and I could respect that. But you have to understand we have a system in place. And if I wait to see everyone, then a lot of the clients who we have who would have gotten all the results and the great results within such a short space of time would not have been able to get it if I was the only person for them to see. So keep that in mind. Trust the process. And we always try to be a professional, effective, and efficient organization. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Jennifer Valentine. Always a pleasure to have you on. Miss Crystal P. She says, good night. I started feeling like something is crawling in my eyes. Okay, that's a bit. Do you have any complications? Are you a diabetic? Do you have problems with hypertension? Any issues as it relates to known issues of poor circulation? Can I elaborate a little more for me, Crystal? Keep in mind again those telephone numbers and locations. The Shagona's office is the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shagona's. That telephone number for Shagona's is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That number for Debe is 223. That's 223-7515. 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James, of course, is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. You guys in Tobago will be in Tobago month 10 again, God's willing. So make sure and call the office to have your appointments. We have Latoya there all the time. So if you need to get any products, our Alkagen water, your inflammation formula, I know we have to use, we're actually sending that up, God's willing. We also have a number of products as it relates to the eye optics formula. We also have silver with mineral formula. So you can call that office number in Tobago, at least have your products. I actually had a client who called me and telling me about his wife who had an issue with bad acid reflux. You know how acid reflux is really bad acting up. Problems with some constipation too as well. So we recommended the Alkagen water for her, together with that nutrient dense greens with the roots and the grass. I'm a big advocate of nutrient dense greens. That particular one really effective in assisting with things like acid reflux, actually assisting in things that where people have serious problems with even poor bowel movement. That really gives them some assistance there. Okay, guys. So again, keep in mind our telephone number for Tobago And of course, as soon as we get our Santulan, all of you guys will be notified. If you are down for Santulan or know anyone else who needs to order the Santulan, please ensure that they give us their orders so that we'll be able, as we get, to ensure that everyone gets their supply. Okay, guys? You are listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we actually support your health naturally. We are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, I don't know if we're having a little technical difficulty with our Instagram. Now I'm seeing, I think we are actually off of Instagram. We're going to have Shakil check us in a bit to rectify that. I'm not seeing that Instagram running, but we are live on our social media platform. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT, and on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Dawn Ellis. Miss Dawn Ellis asked the question. She said, "This is Dawn Ellis from Columbus, Ohio. Good night to you and Associates. Two questions. What would cause someone in an air-conditioned area to get so cold that it goes to my bones and I have to use an electric blanket to get me warm?" I said this happens several times a day. Whoa. But where you're working is clearly where you are. It seems to be very cold. Or no, you're in Canada, so Canada is a very cold place. Why do people hate that I follow you? I am told, why can't you get someone in your state? Well, I mean, well, I'll answer the latter. Let me just see if I could get our Instagram up. Uh, we're getting some problems with our Instagram. Very soon, Shakil would come and rectify that for us. Yeah, so, well, the thing is, you can't get someone in your state, you know. I mean, one of the reasons why I do what I do is because, one, I love it, and two, I'm very good at it. And, my objective is really to help people to understand, how to eat well, how to take care of themselves, to understand the dynamics as it relates to proper dietetics, as it relates to proper nutrition, as it relates to proper hydration. A lot of people still don't get the importance of drinking water. There are a lot of people who are severely dehydrated, and that in itself causes a lot of problems for them. So, I am glad to help. God's willing, as soon as we finish all what we are doing as it relates to our international orders and allowing our clients to be able to order a lot of our products, we'll actually be able to help more persons outside. And it's a matter of, just being able to help someone. I mean, Don, the issues that you have, what you would have gone through. And if we have been able to help you, I know you use the inflammation formula. I don't know how much results you got. I know you said that it did in fact help you. You also mentioned that you found out that you have sarcoidosis, which of course we're now able to treat even better. I think what we need to do is we need to do a review of your international consultation, and of course dot our I's and cross our T's there to help you further. As it relates to the bone situation, well, I mean, as I said, you live in a very cold country, and if you have sarcoidosis issues, it means you're going to have musculoskeletal problems. Your bones going to be weak. It's going to be compromised as a result of having sarcoidosis, especially for the number of years that I believe you would have shared that you had it. So, the bones are going to be depleted. So that's why we're going to have to do things like your silver and your mineral formula, your inflammation formula. There are some other things I can actually recommend for you to assist with that. And we actually track it properly to track the progress and the improvement that you get. And I'm sure that you will, in fact, get improvement once you see you follow through on what we recommend. Okay? So you could message us for that review. And that number for the international consultation is, of course, 868. That's 868-373-2388. Again, that's 868-373-2388. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Mr. Atwell asks the next question. He says, "Good night again. I have a friend who was diagnosed with sleep apnea and wanted some information on his conditions, example, treatment protocols." I don't know the weight of the individual, Mr. Atwell, but unfortunately, a lot of persons with sleep apnea usually do have weight issues. They tend to be a bit overweight, and that contributes to the sleep apnea because when they lie down or in a lying position, because of the weight, especially if they have, a fairly big stomach, that actually rests and presses on the diaphragm and makes it very difficult for them to breathe. So, of course, definitely a weight loss protocol is something that's going to be involved there. If the person is, in fact, um, overweight, I'm not saying all sleep apnea persons are overweight, but a lot of them are. But you can have someone who has sleep apnea and is not necessarily overweight. Good. As regards to the silver with mineral formula, that will definitely help that situation. Santulan, God's willing, when we get that back in stock, is also a very good product. We also have the blood sugar complex, which actually helps with weight and persons who may have early issues associated with diabetes, because if there is a weight factor involved, then the possibility exists that there is also a pre-diabetic situation as well. Okay. Chin is asking a question. Good night, Dr. Batson. I'm seeing shadows in my right eye. What's the cause? They usually for seeing things like shadows, if you get started to get blurred vision, I do not know if you are a diabetic. If you are in fact a diabetic, then I suggest you go and get your eyes checked out. Go to an ophthalmologist and have a field test, and you could also have what is known as a OCT scan. And or have a discussion with them, and they, being the professionals, would recommend eye tests to determine how or if you're actually having issues, or what those issues really are. Okay. And that was for Chin's question. That telephone number again and location. Keep in mind, I am having 2 open clinic days in Chaguanas this week, apart from the regular open clinics days. Sorry, so Chaguanas has an open clinic day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But I'm going to be present on the Tuesday and the Wednesday of this coming week. Miss Jennifer Valentine, she says, Dr. Batson, I'm so pleased that I did the blood, so I have a better understanding of how I move forward. I'm so glad you did it as well. I know the young lady who came with you, who I'm referring to, who I did the blood analysis for her husband. She did reach out to me. So I have the information. I'm going to send it this week for her as regards to what she can get online to continue to improve herself. Okay. So I'm so glad that you did it. Always welcome and glad to be of assistance to you and your family. Okay, my dear. Miss Neat. Okay, good. No Name Noel says, Hi, Doc. So nice hearing you talking so much about diabetes all over the world. It seems to be the talks, but the doctors not doing the right thing to help us. 20 years, and finally, no insulin. Okay, that's good. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. Based on, if I understand what you're saying, is that you may have had diabetes for about 20 years now and you are not on insulin. That is exactly what you're saying? And the thing is, as I was saying with the Integrative Diabetes Center, it really gives us the opportunity to assist persons from the perspective of looking at the human body in its totality, sorry, because of course, the main focus of the body is consistently trying to maintain homeostasis, balance, and regulating those systems in the body. Okay, so No Name Noel, I believe I got what you're saying. I know you're supposed to be a client of ours, but of course, if you need any help, any assistance, feel free to reach out to us. Anita Cooper says, Yes, doctor, I understand what you mean. I used to only want to see Dr. Batson. I did my follow-up with Miss Karishma. My results are much better. She didn't even need to set a next appointment for me. So things are coming along nice. Thanks. You're very welcome. So you see, guys, there's our next person who came, saw Mr. Ramdan. And as I tell you guys, trust the process. I know everybody think the only difference between me and my consultants is I have a PhD. And my experience, I've broad and vast in my experience, but I have trained the consultants well, and they are very experienced. Mr. Ramdan, Mr. Bastamante, all the consultants, they do for the month, for the year, is hundreds of blood analysis they would do numerous consultations. So they're very well trained and experienced and understand what we do. We always have our training. They're really, really good. I must say I'm very, very satisfied with them, and we continue to improve so that we could continue to give you guys great service. Okay. Miss Crystal P says, presently, I don't have any ailment that I'm aware of. You are the one who asked about the eyes. Just now, let me see. Crystal P, good night. I started feeling like something is crawling in my eyes. Well, you can check your hydration, Crystal P. How much water do you drink? You can calculate it. You're supposed to be drinking your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. So if you weigh 100, let's say you weigh 160 pounds, half of 160 is 80, that's 80 ounces. And you should be drinking at least 80 ounces of water. So I would suggest you check your water intake. It could be pathogens. So when we do get Santulan, that's the 7-channel detox that cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. You can actually use that to help to improve the microbiome, improve that internal bacteria, which of course we know your microbiome makes up 70% of your immune system. So healthy gut means healthy immune system. Okay, guys. So I'm so glad to hear Nita Cooper, you were satisfied from seeing the consultant. No Name Noel says, Doc, so right, I dealt with that. Miss Felicia James says, hi, good night, Dr. Batson. Question. One of my feet does be swollen on the other, and the other one is normal. It does be swollen during the day and into the night, and the next day the swelling does go down. Can you tell me the reason why, please? Well, it seems like you have a poor circulation issue in your right side. Anytime you're getting swelling in your legs, most of the time, or swelling in your ankles, your feet, a lot of times it has to do with poor circulation. Poor pulmonary circulation, not pulmonary, sorry, poor systemic circulation. Systemic circulation is below your heart. So that's poor systemic circulation could actually cause serious problems with swelling in the legs. There are products that we have for that. There's a product we have called Circulation Regeneration Tea. Very, very good. We also have the Balanced Circulation, and we also have Circulation Tea. You could also check out the Silver with the mineral formula. What I would recommend, if you could come in at least for a consultation, if you have any blood tests you would have done, if you did any, there's actually a ultrasound that could be done on the legs called a Doppler. If you would have done those, we could always look at those as well. Okay. Jennifer Valens, and she said, thank you so much. The best doctor. Thank you. No Name Noel says, sorry, erase that chat. Ms. Jennifer, yes, Ms. Jennifer Valens says, Dr. Batson, a friend of mine has a cyst on her bladder. What should she do? If you have a cyst on your bladder, we might need to contact us. We need to get some more information. But bladder cysts are generally easy to deal with. It could be an indication of consistent infection. A lot of women have frequent urinary bladder infections, and those can cause problems with cysts on the bladder eventually. It could also be issues associated with yeast infection. Women who have frequent yeast infections usually end up with situations with cysts on the bladder as well. So that's something that you could pay very close attention to. Keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number for Chaguanas again is 222. That's 222-8261. 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. Sorry about that. The corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That number for Debe again is 223. That's 223-7515, 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James is 220. That's 220-8113, 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number for Tobago is 226. That's 226-4553. That's 226-4553, as well as 312. That's 312-4248. Okay. Nice. Okay, you're welcome, Crystal P. Maureen Tull. Good night to you. Miss Marley Nabi says, night, night, Dr. Batson. A pleasant good night to you. Stephen Atwell says, can you talk a little a bit? Can you talk a little bit on cardiovascular health? Example, preventing angina, heart attack, stroke, etc. Thanks. Okay, good. No problem, Mr. Atwell. I'll go there in a little bit. Keep in mind as well, those open clinic days for Dr. Batson this week is this Tuesday and Wednesday at the Shagonas office. That office is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's the first floor of Money Talks building in Montrose, Shagonas. That telephone number for Shagonas again is 222. That's 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And Debe is the corner of Ramson Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number for Debe again is 223. That's 223 7515. Again, that's 223 7515. And that office again is located on the corner of Ramson Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in DB. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James again is 220, that's 220-8113. 220-8113. You could reach out to that office and make your appointment for your live nutritional blood cell analysis and your magnetic resonance analysis. So, a pleasant good evening to Miss Gail Percival as well as Miss Ruby Sam. So Mr. Atwell asked to talk a bit about cardiovascular health. Now, one of the things I was doing with when I mentioned cardiovascular health or poor cardiovascular health is poor circulation. So Mr. Atwell mentioned angina. Angina is actually pain that you would get in your chest, very close to the left side where your heart is. And usually people who get angina are persons who are beginning to show issues with blocked arteries. Now, there are various arteries that is utilized by the cardiovascular system, and a lot of time, these arteries could actually become blocked, clogged. They may not be 100% blocked because some of but a lot of times you find persons have arteries that are 100% blocked, sometimes 50% blocked, 75% blocked. So what you need to do is, of course, flush or clean those arteries out. So someone listening to this might want to know, could you actually improve circulation in your arteries without doing surgery? The answer is yes. Does poor cardiovascular health um, or is poor cardiovascular health linked to poor diet and lack of exercise? Yes, yes, yes. As well as heart attacks, which is actually medically known as a myocardial infarction, as well as strokes. Whether you have an ischemic stroke or you have a hemorrhagic stroke, strokes are serious indication of poor circulation in the cerebral hemisphere. So in all instances, cardiovascular health or good cardiovascular health must be dependent and is directly proportionate to healthy blood circulation. And that's why at Batson Associates, we carry so many products for good or healthy circulation. That's why we carry the balanced circulation, which is a capsule that you use normally one with your breakfast, one with your dinner. And that helps to improve your blood circulation tremendously because it actually improves pulmonary circulation, which is circulation above the heart, and systemic circulation, which is actually below the heart as well. Okay? We also have the circulation regeneration tea. Check out that tea. If you are a great advocate of tea and a tea lover like myself, a really nice loose tea that really helps in assisting individuals in improving blood circulation. Good. We also have the circulation tea, which is used, I tell people take 2 tea bags, get a really nice, good big teacup, like maybe one of those 16 ounces teacup. Those are the ones I use. I can't use those little mini cups, right? And have a nice cup of tea. You can have your circulation tea. And of course, you use your bags 2-3 times and have or improve that blood circulation. So you can always call, you can always visit us at any one of our locations. Keep in mind those specials that we have. We have some specials this month for our senior citizens. We have so many persons who are senior citizens, so many individuals who actually can come and utilize those discounts that we have. So, our Instagram, we do apologize. We had a little technical difficulties, a lot of technical difficulties today, but I guess it's maybe because of the weather. We are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. We're discussing cardiovascular health. We're discussing diabetes. Let me touch a little bit on our nerve restore. Someone asked, does nerve restore help persons who have issues with sleep? And the answer is yes. I actually took nerve restore. I started back using nerve restore like about 2-3 weeks ago, and I'm seeing the difference with it. That product really, really assists you. It really helps you to sleep properly. And of course, at Batson Associates, that's actually one of the products that we advocate the use of. One of the questions that we were actually asked this evening, Mr. Atwell asked the question on preventing strokes, heart attacks. And one of the things we do at Batson Associates is our magnetic resonance analysis scan. And what that magnetic resonance analysis scan does is really assist persons in being able to determine or show where in their circulation needs to be adjusted. Someone asked the question earlier about swelling in the ankles. What she mentioned, she said her right feet usually swells more than the left. And you find that her foot will actually go down in the night, but when she gets up in the morning and she walks around or begins walking around, by the evening, the foot is severely swollen. Good, as I mentioned, that's a clear indication of poor circulation. It may also be an indication that the circulation is worse on the right side of the body as opposed to the left, because most persons usually have circulation issues on the left side of the body a lot of the times. So what I would suggest, come to Batson Associates. We do have that package, that special, where we have the live nutritional blood cell analysis as well as the live and dry blood, as well as the magnetic resonance analysis, which gives us an opportunity to look at your circulation firsthand. Because remember, when we take that drop of blood and we put it under that high power microscope, we magnify 30,000 times. We're actually able to see if you have what is known as Rollo. Rollo is also you have either Rollo, which is actually stacking of the blood vessels, or not blood vessels, sorry, blood cells, your red blood cells. And we know the importance of red blood cells. Remember, red blood cells are for the transportation of what? Oxygen and nutrients, hormones, and a number of different things which blood transport to different cells in the body. So the reason why your red blood cells are concave and not flat is so that they have a higher surface area to volume ratio. So when your blood cells actually stack on each other, you're actually losing the blood cells' ability to transport oxygen. And that's why a lot of persons are iron deficient, and anemic. A lot of people have problems with hemoglobin because of that poor circulation in the red corpuscles. There's also something known as erythrocyte aggregation. Erythrocytes are red blood cells, aggregate, mean to, like concrete, stick together. So if your red blood cells are stacking together, you're going to have a serious, serious problem. You're going to get in swelling in your legs. You're going to get in things like pins and needles, cramping in your calves, burning on their feet. You're going to be getting issues with dizziness, lightheadedness, blurred vision. So, of course, make that appointment. Come to Batson and Associates. Check out that live nutritional blood cell analysis for yourself. See for yourself why you are sick. There are a lot of persons walking around there who are sick, and you don't know why you're sick. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. There's always a reason why you are not feeling the way you're supposed to. Always remember, the key function of the human body is to maintain what? Homeostasis, balance, equilibrium. So if you are out of equilibrium, you're going to be sick. Diabetes, hypertension, poor circulation, inflammatory bowel conditions, things like Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation. There are a lot of persons who do not evacuate waste every day. Some people go in the washroom every 3 days, 4 days. That's madness. You would end up with something known as auto-intoxication. The prefix auto stands for self, and intoxication stands for poison. That is self-poisoning, because the body constantly just is like a situation where you have a cycle: dirty blood, dirty blood, dirty blood. So again, feel free to give us a call or visit those telephone numbers and locations. Our Instagram came back up. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Dr. Ryan26. And line 1900 has also joined us. N Mohammed 45 has joined us. N Mohammed 45 sent a request to be live on the video. We would not be able to facilitate that, but if you have a question, I suggest you type it out in the Instagram. We are live on our social media platforms. Remember, like us, follow us, share us, tag a friend. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook, on Instagram. We are Batson and Associates TT. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Okay, I see Miss Gail Percival, Ruby Sammy. I said good night to you guys. Miss Euclid Antoine says good night, Dr. Batson. Miss Karishma Ramdan, one of our foremost blood microscopists and consultants, senior consultants. A pleasant good evening to you. Hope all is well with you. No Name Noel says, Doc, is the Nerve Restore one of your meds that would be going online? Yes, that is one of the products that is going to be going online, sir. So very soon we're going to have that available for you guys. We're working assiduously. What the thing is, I have a lot of experience in clinical nutrition for at least 15 years. And that actually put me in a position where I know supplements. I really, really know supplements. I know the good, the bad, and the indifference. Believe me. And there are so many things out there that could help persons. And it's unfortunate that a lot of persons suffer for the lack of knowledge. Now, I always tell persons I'm not in the politics of medicine. I really don't have time for the nonsense. My job is to help people get better. Serious-minded people who want help. It's not about, who is this and don't use herbs. A lot of persons automatically assume that everything natural is herbs, and that's quite unfortunate. That is an ignorant and quite illogical perspective. It makes no sense. If you really understand what nutrition is, if you understand what diet ethics is, you will understand why the human body has a requirement for so many things. And you will also understand why there are a lot of persons who walking around who may be quite well off and eat every day, but they are so malnourished and lack proper nutrition that is one of the reasons why they are sick. And that's not to try to be condescending or to try to be facetious in any manner, but it's simply the truth that a lot of persons, especially diabetics, and that is why we created those integrative clinics to help persons from a dietary perspective to be able to get better results and to be able to take better control of their body. So, feel free to give us a call or visit. Keep those open clinic days. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Rachel Ramcharan. She says, good night, Dr. Batson from New York. Lovely to see you tonight. So glad New York is in the house. Rachel, I hope you guys are out there having a great time, and glad for the greeting from New York. Miss Cheryl Cooper says, good night, Dr. Batson. Kimoy Batiste says, what's the difference now with the eye drops that it has to be in the fridge? Before that was not instructed. Well, the reason, quite frankly, that instruction is my personal instruction. We were not given those instructions from the company. However, because of the tropical climate, I don't know if you remember, the place was very hot. So what I found, I use the eye drop. So personally, I found when you store the eye drop in a cool place, because of how hot the place was, I found a lot of persons were getting issues when the eye drop evaporated quickly and those type of things. So I recommended that it be put in the refrigerator, and we actually started doing that from the get-go in the office. So what I normally tell persons, because it's very difficult sometimes to put the cold drop like that in your eye. So what I tell persons to do is take it out of the refrigerator for a little bit, let it get a little room temperature, put it in your eye and put it back. The eye drop wouldn't, you wouldn't get any problems with it like that. But that was the reason, Miss Kimoy. Okay? So again, keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number again for the Chaguanas office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Dave is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Davie. That number for Davie is 223. That's 223-7515. 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James is 220, that's 220-8113. 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number for Tobago again is 226. That's 226-4553. 226-4553. Remember, guys, in Tobago, to make those appointments for your blood analysis, for your magnetic resonance analysis, give us a check. Whatever issue is, if you have problems with your intestines, you may be constipated, not to be condescending again or facetious. There are some persons you may have a problem with body odor. That's nothing to be ashamed about. There are persons who actually came to us and we treated them for that situation. I remember, someone coming to us and sharing that they had a problem with body odor for years. It was so embarrassing. And it was a female. And, we worked with them and we eventually solved the problem. And this was a problem that they actually said that they had for over 20 years. And, without giving too much information, that individual came, they shared, and we were actually able to help them. So, it's very, very important to speak. You don't have to go there. And the thing is, all the information at Batson Associates is kept professional, is kept confidential. And we are actually able to help them. So you might know someone who have an issue with body odor. You might know someone who has an issue as it relates to the breath, maybe bad breath. And a lot of times, they might be doing their regular hygiene as it relates to dentistry, the dental hygiene, they're brushing the teeth, they're flossing, they might have the regular visits to the dentist, yet they still have issues with, bad breath. And that is actually because that problem is an internal problem. And that's where Santulan comes in. Of course, we also have the advanced chlorophyll, which is also a really good product because we know we're waiting on Santulan. We also have that greens with the roots and the grass as well. The alkagen water also plays a significant role in assisting in that area. Men, you may have a little issue with, a perspiration issue. As I said, there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be, nothing that cannot be corrected. It's a matter, of course, calling us and coming in and having that session. Keep in mind, we do operate a walk-in clinic, so you can actually just walk in. You don't necessarily have to have an appointment. But of course, we have specific days. I have specific clinic days. And of course, we have the consultants who would do the blood analysis. They will do the scan, make your assessment, do up the file. And if need be, then I would do a review. But keep in mind, our consultants are there. They are trained, and don't suffer yourself to wait to see it taking 100 years to see me, because you can start getting results and I could always do your review, or I see you on the second visit, or sometimes I see you on the first visit and then your visit subsequent to that, you deal with the consultants. Help us to help you. Okay, guys. Miss Jackie Johnson says, good night, Dr. Batson. 2 weeks now, I have been using your products. I am enjoying it. Thank you. Calling from New Jersey. Great. So I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so, so glad to hear that. You're very welcome, my dear. Kimoy, but he says, oh, okay, understand. Yes, that was as regards to the eye drop, guys. So it's now 9:32. We finish at 9:45. So please, if you have any question that you may want to ask, feel free to ask. We are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson Associates Trinidad. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. We're discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. One of the questions, too, that we were asked, because we usually run, because I actually worked in Tobago, our regular scheduled Thursday program we didn't have, but we were resuming business as usual from this week. So remember to check out our program coming this week. We go from 11:05 to 11:35, and that's going to be on a Thursday, 11:05 to 11:35. We also have DJ Mamu. We joined DJ Mamu on DJ Mamu Radio TT.com, and that program is going to be from 2:15 to 3:15. And of course, we join our friends subsequent to that at 5. We go from 5 to 5:15, and that's actually going to be Synergy TV. So, that packed day Thursday is really healthy at Batson Associates. And of course, Sunday, we keep your question and answer. Very soon, we'll be resuming some of our regular programming, just working out some kinks as regards to some stuff. where that is concerned. And of course, our scheduling very important. So much more work that we have to do, especially with that Tobago office being opened back and now beginning to function. Those of you in Tobago, keep in mind we usually on Channel 5 every Wednesday. That's every Wednesday on Channel 5 from 7 to 7:15. Okay, we also have some additional information we will be providing for you guys as regards to when we do our programs. Okay, again, those telephone numbers and location. This week's, keep in mind, Dr. Batson, yours truly, would be in St. James on Friday. That's Friday of this week here. That clinic has an open clinic day, which you can actually go in any day. If you have intentions of doing our blood analysis scan, magnetic resonance analysis scan, then of course you need to fast for 2 hours. Okay, guys? Keep that in mind. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. We are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And we're discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. I know we have some announcements to make for you guys. Remember, this month is actually Minority Mental Health Awareness. I'm a huge advocate of mental health, especially for men, because I think a lot of men are not, given the opportunity to. In fact, not only men, a lot of people in general don't really understand the importance of mental health. I actually did a program a while ago with the Women's Empowerment Group. That's Miss Wendy Lewis and them. Miss Wendy Lewis, sorry, and her organization. My apologies. And it was a really good symposium that we did. Where we spoke about mental health, and that is something I applaud because I hope they do it for everyone. Men, of course. Very important, women as well, even children, teenagers. A lot of persons when coming to mental health, and a lot of persons don't understand that food, a sedentary lifestyle, and a diet that's full of processed sugars, a lot of processed foods, can actually make you feel even more depressed. It actually put you in or dampen your mood where you don't feel as good as you would like to feel. And that is actually your diet contributing to that. So you could actually eat yourself to depression. A lot of people do not know that there are a lot of foods that are antidepressant foods. For example, nuts, things like cashew, almonds, your things like dates, also good as well. You can also use Nerve Restore. Nerve Restore is actually a product that, when I tell you I love that product is such a good product. It really helps you to rest properly. Your sleep is a different sleep in terms of how well and recuperated you feel with your sleep. So it is very, very important that you really pay attention to that and really give us a call and get that nerve restore. You heard someone was asking about the eye drops. We have a really, really good eye drop called Eye Optics Formula, which plays a significant role, in assisting individuals as it relates to eye health. So things like cataract, glaucoma, detached retina. A lot of work we're going to be doing very soon too with our integrative eye clinic. So really giving a person's opportunity. And the good thing about it is that what a lot of people don't understand, and that's why I say that I'm not in the politics of medicine, is that Western doctors, all doctors have their place in them. A lot of people don't understand that. There are times when you need to go under surgery. There are times when you have no other choice but to cut you open. In some instances, some of you all wait too long to take care of yourself, so you have no other choice but to face the knife. When the physical body is in emergency, the physical body needs to get all the attention it needs to do. That's not the time you're coming by Batson and Associates for us to put you on protocol to clean out your intestines and help your liver function better. We know the body can't deal with that. That's the time you have to be in the hospital with injection and antibiotics and drips, because the body is at a state of emergency. God forbid if you're in an accident or something that requires emergency surgery. That's when you need that. But as it relates to lifestyle diseases, diabetes, poor circulation, helping persons to understand the importance of diet ethics and what is really it is to eat properly. Most people full of money out there. When I tell you full of money, they well to do, but they don't know how to eat properly, and that's so sad. because you have the means at which you could actually help yourself to enjoy a healthier lifestyle. But ignorance is bliss, and some people are so foolish, quite frankly, plain talk bad manners. They just try and shut down everything because there are some people who are so ignorant and they perish for a lack of knowledge, and that's their business, because we live in an information age now where I think people need to be a little more open-minded. But at the end of the day, it is for your health. And there are a lot of persons, and I say this over and over. I know persons who are affluent enough, they're well off financially, and they are malnourished. You think about that for a minute. You're well off, you have money, you can afford things, and it's not like you're not willing to spend on yourself, but you don't know better. And you're walking around with your chest high up in the air and bawling, I don't know this, and my doctor tell me not to do this, and my doctor tell you not to do that, and you're dying. That's making no sense whatsoever. None. None whatsoever. So if you're serious and you really want help, then Batson and Associates is the place for you. So again, those telephone numbers and locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number for Chaguanas again is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Street and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number for Debe again is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James again is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. You guys could also take advantage of some of the packages that we have. We actually have a packages where we have, for example, the inflammation package, where you actually get a significant discount on the on your consultation and products that have already been put together. That's actually something to take very good advantage of, especially if you're looking at things from a financial perspective. Okay, very, very important. Mr. Steve Atwell says, I love the eye optics formula. Helped to reduce my high eye pressure somehow. You just feel the difference with just one drop. I totally agree with you. Totally agree. He says as well, and with the teas, of course. Definitely. We actually have an eye tea. That's the kind of trouble I went to. And we have more trouble to go to make sure that we get even better products and additional products to help you guys. Okay, Sharon Theodore says, Dr. Batson, my friend has a bad odor below her arm. Can menopause cause that? Asking for a friend. Um, Thank you. Yeah, that could. The thing is, menopause could cause a lot of things. And menopause seriously throws the body out of um effect, really throws the body off. With a number of things. It interferes with your metabolic system, it interferes with your central nervous system. So things like sleep goes out the door, depression and anxiety, feelings of unworthiness, emotional distress. These women, they just cry just so they just sit down and crying for nothing. You swear something happened to somebody, but it's because of the emotional upheaval and the distress in the body that it happens to them. Then problem with the endocrine system, things like thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary gland. So menopause could actually be the onset of a number of issues. So as much as we here working hard and trying our best, we know we have you guys waiting for Santrul a while now, and God's willing, we correcting that. Very soon we're gonna have that for you. We have things like our nerve restore. We also have that eye optics formula. We also have the circulation tea, joint tea. We also have anthocyanin complex. We got back that in stock. That helps with eyes, high levels of anthocyanins, bilberry, those type of things. Really good product for persons who are looking at things like mental acuity, things like stroke patients, persons who have problems with Alzheimer, vascular dementia, those type of things. You can actually get really good results in that regard. So check out that anthocyanin complex. We also have advanced chlorophyll in stock as well. Silver with mineral formula, one of my favorite products. Keep in mind, we have so many viruses, bacteria. That product really helps to improve and maintain healthy immunity. Also very good for gut health. Those of you who have problems with acid reflux, you can check out our Digestive Restore, Digestive Balance, two really great products that assist in improving uh, digestion and improving gastrointestinal health. Okay, guys. So keep in mind, we're very close to the end of our program. Uh, keep in mind those specials that we have. As I told you guys, this month we are recognizing Minority Mental Health Awareness, and we have some exciting discounts for you guys. We also have the entire month, we bring back our senior citizens special. So those senior citizens who actually have that special discount, we actually brought back that. And where all senior citizens will be able to receive a free magnetic resonance analysis scan with their pension special package. And of course, we have our Christmas in July promotion where you get 25% discount off our circulation protocol. So that protocol, which was actually $1,400, is now actually $1,100. So you can also take advantage of that. Our winners for our Father's Day, that Father's Day promotion that we have. I know we're supposed to announce those winners for a while now. We'll actually do that. I believe we should do that on Thursday, please God. On Thursday, please God, we'll actually do that. And Shoguna's branch is actually going to be having its first symposium on Sunday, the 21st of July. Sunday, 21st of July. Let me make sure that date is correct. Sunday, the 21st. Yes, Sunday, the 21st of July is that symposium that we're having at the Shoguna's office. So you can, of course, feel free to take advantage of that. We're actually looking to have one in the north as well. But when I say that, we're looking to have one for our St. James office there, but it wouldn't be at that office, of course. So you can, of course, get that information. Keep in mind those telephone numbers again and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks Building. That's Money Talks Building in Montrose, Shogunas. That number for Shogunas is 222. That's 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That number for Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number for Tobago is 226-4553. That's 226-4553, as well as 312. That's 312-4248. So keep in mind, again, those pension specials that we have. We also have that special where you get that package where you get a 25% off. So call. If you call and you know, if you do, the only way you'll know is if you call and you ask if you get information. So you have been listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Check out our integrative clinics, our integrative diabetic clinic, our integrative PMS clinic, our integrated gastrointestinal clinic, and so many more integrative clinics coming. Keep in mind, again, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Guys, God bless and do enjoy the rest of your Sunday. You have been listening to Dr. Jason Batson at Batson and Associates. Remember to follow us, share us, like us on our social media. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Check out our symposium, our first symposium for Central, which is going to be taking place on Sunday, the 21st of July, at our Shoguna's office. We'll have more information in the coming program. So you guys, and check us out on Thursday. Remember, Thursday is Health Day at Batson and Associates. That first program at 11:05 to 11:35. And then we have our program with DJ Mamu on djmamuradiott.com. That takes place at 2:15 to 3:15. And of course, our program on Synergy. And that's actually live on Synergy. And that's on a Thursday now, God's willing, Thursday from 5 to 5:15. Keep in mind Tobago as well. Tobago, we are usually on Channel 5. That is Channel 5. Channel 5 in Tobago, and that takes place on a Wednesday from 7 to 7:15. That program is sometimes live when I'm in Tobago, or we do it via I can't remember the technical term for it, but where we actually share our screen with them. Okay, so that usually takes place on Channel 5, and that's every Wednesday from Wednesday from 7 to 7:15. Okay, guys, so take care of yourself. Remember those telephone numbers. And next week, please God, we will call out our fathers, the winners. Okay, guys, for our Father's Day special. Good. Ms. Ruby Sammy says, thank you. God bless. Mr. Steve Maxwell says, thanks a lot for all the information. Till next time, you're very, very, very welcome, sir. Maureen Tall says, have a blessed night. Thank you so very much, Steve Maxwell. He says, I'm seniorish, so I will need the circulation special for delivery. Thanks. No problem. So you can call the office and we will sort you out. Miss Jennifer Valentine, always a pleasure, my dear. She says, thank you so very much for sharing with us. You're very welcome, guys. Take care. God bless. Remember, check us out on Thursday, 11:05 to 11:35, 2:15 to 3:15, and 5 to 5:15. Take care, guys. God bless.